What up, ladies and gents? This is Jason, a zombie collector. Feels weird saying that. I haven't done a video showing off any pickups in forever. It's been a while. But I got crazy during the last week and a half of November, towards the end of the month. This is the 30th. So we're getting ready to roll into December. And I started picking up a bunch of wrestling cards. Almost all the cards except a handful are now current AEW stars. They're all on WWE cards, of course. The AEW cards from Upper Deck, which was supposed to be released this month, is now supposed to have been pushed back to December. I want to say 8th, if I'm not mistaken. So next week, essentially, they should hit the shelves. So I'm looking forward to that. I've heard from almost anybody and everybody who is involved in the whole wrestling card game that it's going to be a bloodbath, a hell in the cell to get these cards. They have sold out and they overshot their original price. I think they were going to be released for like $80 a box or $69 a box or something, and it went up to like $250 for a hobby box, and for a case was like $2K or something crazy. I'm not even for sure. So blaster boxes, I'm assuming, will be near impossible to find. I hope I'm wrong. I have a few people out there in the Americas looking for me. And I said, hey, if you find them at your local Piggly Wiggly, let me know. I'll shoot you the money right away to pick up some boxes for me, because I'm going to do my part to look for stuff, but it's probably going to be slim pickings because it's the hottest I've ever heard a wrestling product going for, and a lot of people seem to carry that same sentiment. So we'll see. But I did get, like I said, a handful of cards. I'm going to show the non-AEW related cards first, and then we'll get to all the AEW superstars. The first up is a Hulk Hogan. Now this is the 1991, classic. Right here, it looks like he has Earthquake right there. The old Glare Bear's back. So the Glare Bear. So we got Hulk Hogan. I know it's not the cool thing to say nowadays because Hogan has had some stuff in the past happen, but I'm still Hulkamaniac. I still love Hulk Hogan. If it wasn't for Hogan and a handful of the other guys from back in the 80s and the 90s, I would not be a huge wrestling fan. So, a lot of times it's like the in vogue thing to do is got to kind of take a crap on him now. But I'm still Hulkamaniac. Next up is Hogan. Looks like he's hitting Dino Bravo in the back with a 2x4. So probably that's a Hacksaw Jim Duggan prop there. I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure the only time you saw a 2x4 in WWF back then would have been a 2x4 by Hacksaw Jim Duggan. And there he is whooping up on Dino Bravo. I got each one of these cards for $1 a piece. All the cards I got here today, I got for $1. The whole stack I showed at the beginning, and I'm sure I'll show at the end. I think I got the whole stack, including shipping, for probably about $20, maybe $25. So that's including shipping. So it's not too bad. I noticed, unlike baseball cards, which is what I used to collect predominantly, you can find a lot of good deals for $1 and then free shipping. It was like pretty commonplace. But in the wrestling world, it's not very common. So they're definitely trying to maximize their money by selling a cheaper card or a card that maybe doesn't sell very high, but then try to get you on the back end with a $3 or $4 shipping. And, like I said, if it's a card that's worth that and make sure it's protected correctly, then I'm willing to pay the money. But if they're going to send it in a PWE and they barely protect the card and they still want me to pay $3, $4, don't think that's going to happen. And then lastly, we got the real iconic Hogan with the American flag. And there you go. I know it might be a little blurry. Sorry. Can I make that less blurry? I don't know. Maybe not. So, anyways, that's obviously a very common look for Hogan with the American flag. I've been going through and watching lots of old 80s and 90s, Survivor Series, Royal Rumbles, Oh, what else? There's a handful I've been going through, just watching like Saturday Night Main Event, things like that. It's just been really fun going back and watching, and I can still remember a lot of the storylines, and a lot of the wrestlers, and a lot of even the matches. Watching it, 20 years later, 30 years later, in some cases, sometimes maybe 34 years later. It's been crazy. So it's been so much fun going back, and they're on YouTube, they're on the tube. So if you all just type in wrestling or WWF, whatever, there's gonna, and sometimes they even have the old school commercials, like the person uploads a VHS rip that they did from their, TVs back in 89, 91, 88, 87. And it's kind of cool because you see like commercials of like, from back then. It makes you just have a real huge nostalgia trip. It makes you really feel that you're in the 80s watching this, because it's the show plus all the commercials. It's been kind of cool. I saw one with Famika Jensen as a commercial. She did a perfume commercial, the girl who played Jean Grey, and it was like this, oh, this smell is best for you. A European smell that's taking America by storm. And then there's the guy who played Frasier's dad. He's in a commercial for hearing aids. Can't remember his name. He just passed away in the last couple of years. But anyways, it's been fun. Nostalgia trip. Then we got Hogan, of course. This is the 90 Hulk Hogan, Hulkamania with the ripped shirt right there. Obviously, that's a huge, huge thing right there. I mean, you can't miss that. So next up is a handful of CM Punk cards. CM Punk, as if you don't know somehow, if you lived under a rock, has moved after 7 years of being outside of wrestling after leaving WWE. He is now with AEW. He is in a 7-0 run. He has not lost a match quite yet. And he's just been firing all cylinders. I like the way he's been introduced into the AEW world. Some people's kind of poo-pooed on it, but those people, I just feel like I don't know what you want. I mean, I think they want him to come out immediately and just go for the title. And I like the way he's doing. He's working his way through the roster, having his quote-unquote dream matches that he can have with a lot of the younger talent. So next up is Kofi Kingston and CM Punk on this World Tag Team Championship card. It's a C7. There's a little bit of shine on there. But there you have that one. I liked it. Right here's the championship material World Tag Team Champs. And like I said, a lot of this stuff I have not seen. A lot of the WWE more modern day, in the last decade and a half, I've not seen it. I'm going back and watching some of it, but I've not watched it religiously. Then we have CM Punk. There's a, I think, 10-card set of top-class matches, Punk's picks. And here's one with him, and I believe this is John Cena. Getting ready to go to sleep right there. So there is that card. And this is 6 out of 10. This is what happened on July 17th, 2011. Money in the Bank, Chicago, Illinois. So there's that one. Here is one with, I think that's William Regal. Yes, that's William Regal. This is number 3 out of 10. January 19th, 2009, Raw, Chicago, Illinois. Now, a lot of this, he wins Intercontinental Championship with this one. This one says wins WWE Championship. So the one with John Cena, he wins the WWE Championship. Here's the Intercontinental belt he wins from William Regal. So a lot of times it's an ongoing joke that if you wrestle with the WWE, if the wrestler wrestles in his hometown, he is going to lose. Because WWE almost always has people lose in their hometown. Which is like a sad thing to hear because it sounds like it's an ongoing thing. But it is what it is. Next up is 5 out of 10. This is CM Punk loses his hair. And that is Rey Mysterio, I believe it looks like. So this happened on May 23rd, 2010. Over the Limit, Detroit, Michigan. So there you go. Rey Mysterio shaving off the old CM Punk's head there. Shaved him bald. Next up is CM Punk wins World Heavyweight Championship. Right here. And this happened on August 23rd, 2009. SummerSlam, Los Angeles, California. This is 4 out of 10. So somehow I didn't even realize, but I got like over 2/3 of the Punk picks cards. So I guess I'll be on the lookout now for the other 4, if I'm not mistaken. Next up is 1 out of 10. This is ECW Cincinnati, Ohio, September 4th, 2007. And wins ECW Championship belt. So that's a pretty cool one right there. All right, so let's see if I have any. I know I have a few more CM Punk cards. I also had another wrestler, so I got to make sure I don't get him mixed up in here. Oh, I have another one here, sorry. This is 10 out of 10. This is Extreme Rules, Chicago, Illinois. That's what he's there. You can tell that's Chris. Oh, that's Chris Jericho. CM Punk turns back on Jericho again. This is on April 29th, 2012. He will have left the company, if I'm not mistaken, in 2013, I believe. So this is towards the end of his run. He will leave after this, a year after that about. All right, next up is a insert card. This is called Favorite Finishers, CM Punk GTS, which means go to sleep. There you go. It looks like he has, I think that's Rey Mysterio up there. Yep. He has Rey Mysterio in the GTS. And so there you go. This is an insert card. And the guy was selling each card for $1 with like 59-cent shipping. But I reached out to him and said, hey man, if I buy like 10, 12 cards, would you give me a discount on the shipping? Because I'm going to end up spending $12 or $30 on shipping. And he was like, sure. So he gave it to me for like half off. So it ended up being like $17 for everything. So that's what it cost a lot. Well, yeah, probably around that. So there you go. So there's a GTS. And then the next one, this is a kind of cool one, is Topps Town card. I remember this from the baseball world, the TT18. That's the number on the back. But this is, I remember seeing these on the baseball cards from back in 2000 and I think 11 maybe. I'm not for sure when these cards came out. Yeah, 2011 it looks like, 2010. So this is also an insert card. I think there may be, if there's like the baseball, there's different colors, different variations. So here's a blue CM Punk Topps Town card. And so there's that. And then the last, I think, CM Punk card I have, I love this card. It's so cool. I think I'm bidding on one right now that I hope I'm going to win. That's a blue variation that's numbered. But it's CM Punk. This is the 2011 card there with taking out John Cena. Raw. I guess he was on the Raw brand at the time. But I love this card. It looks so cool. It's a great looking card. CM Punk flying through the air. Just a really, really cool card. It's in really good shape. This might be one of those ones I might send off and get graded eventually. Then the next up was Bryan Danielson, or Daniel Bryan, back in the olden days. And I got a couple. This was the same guy. He had a couple extra cards. So I got him to send me a couple. The first one up is Daniel Bryan wins the WWE Championship August 18th, 2013. So there we go. There's Lumberjack Bryan Danielson. So there you go. That's a cool one. I don't think this is not an insert card. This is a base card out of the SummerSlam, I guess. A deck. So there's that. All right, next up is a longest title reign, Daniel Bryan, WWE Champions. Looks like he has everyone. I think they call that the label lock, if I'm not mistaken, in there. So there he has, it looks like it says The Miz, maybe. That looks like The Miz. So there you go. There's a Daniel Bryan card. Or Bryan Danielson, sorry. That's why I'd rather just call him Bryan Danielson, because like I said, I never really watched him. A lot of these guys I haven't watched while they're in WWE. So there's that one. And then the last Bryan Danielson. Now, because I'm looking at it, it's making me throw me off here. This is I don't even know. I don't know if this is an insert card or what, but it's a really cool card, as you can see. Bryan Danielson here. I'm not even for sure what it's called. It's called a WWE Classic on the back here. But there you go. And that just has lots of shine. It's so shiny. So there you go. There's a little throwback for you. Next up, which is a kind of cool situation, I got a card. Again, this is one of the ones I got for $1 and free shipping, shockingly, because I'm sure nobody else is going for it. But there's Japanese wrestlers that are not super popular, and there's a one or two that's kind of popular in WWE, and maybe one or two-ish kind of in AEW, but rest of them, they're kind of lower tier, or they're not mostly wrestling in America. But one of them that's a guy is, which again, you'll see too many Japanese guys wrestling on main TV right now on the television. This one's Akira Tozawa. The cool story is the guy, I ordered it, I wanted to get a refractor, that's the one he had online, or on the Bay, but he sent me this one, and I said, hey, I'm really grateful for this card. It's cool. I like it, but I actually asked for I bought the refractor, and he was like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry." So he sent me the refractor. As you can tell, it's like so much more shiny, and he sent it to me for free. He didn't charge me any additional for shipping. He didn't ask me to send this one back, and it was in the mail. It was back to my house like in 2 days. I mean, he might have ran it over here, but that was awesome. So I really want to get this. It's a Topps Chrome of Akira Tozawa. And then, of course, it's the refractor one, which is the one I want. So I'm picking up any of the Japanese guys, just like when I used to do with my baseball cards. Any of the Japanese guys, I don't know much about him. I think he's currently on Raw, if I'm not mistaken. He popped up once or twice. And, I mean, basically, he does, like, enhancement talent. He's almost like a jobber, which sucks. Every time he shows up, he ends up getting, like, creamed by somebody. All right. And then my last two cards is John Moxley on, and this was the same thing. It was like $1 and maybe change with free shipping, or shipping was like 85 cents. But this is the base, and here is the bronze variation. And he went by the name Dean Ambrose in WWE. And here it says, defeats John Cena in a no-holds-barred contract on a pole match. October 13th, 2014. Right now, he's in, I believe, rehab for alcohol, alcoholism, I guess. And, I just want the, best for him and his family. He's married to Renee Paquette, and they have a new little daughter. So I'm hoping that he just the best for him, because, he has so much going for him in his life. So I really hope he able to turn it around and gets the help that he needs. So, anyways, this was cool. It was a twofer, so that was awesome. And then I'm finishing up lastly with a Hoosier, which is cool because I don't think, unless I'm mistaken, and somebody who watches might be able to tell me, current modern day on television wrestlers, there's hardly anyone that bills themselves from Indiana. So when there is one who's from Indiana and bills themselves from Indiana, it's kind of cool, and that is Ruby Soho. She went by the name Ruby Riot. She looks kind of actually quite different than this now. She has chopped her hair all off. It's bright red, like Raggedy Ann red. She has so many more tattoos. She looks like even though she's super thin in here, this picture, she looks like she's even thinner now. And she definitely has this punk rock thing going for her. So again, I got this because they sold it for like, I think, $1 or $2. But I got 2 base Topps Chrome cards, but the one I really wanted was this refractor. So they sent 2 base Chrome and then the refractor. So that was really cool. I was super pumped about that. That's the real reason I got this. And like I said, the whole thing, including shipping, was like $2. So I'm really pumped about that. So I'm going to be focusing heavy on Ruby Soho. This is what's her name now. She goes by. So yeah, I guess upon further review, I probably spent about $30 on the whole thing now that I think about it. So still, I feel like I did pretty good for myself. $30, a nice stack of cards. Well, let me know what you all think about the cards, if I did okay. What were some of your favorites? Have you heard any of these wrestlers? Who's your favorite out of the ones that I'd shown off? Let me know if there's things I need to know. Tell me about it. Just keep on informing me. I'm trying to look for variations, inserts, different kind of things like that. But I'm only focused on AEW wrestlers and then like vintage wrestlers, from back in the 80s and early 90s. But anyways, guys, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time. Peace.